I'd like to speak a little bit this morning about what occurs when everything begins slowing down. When the habit of mind begins slowing down. When the process of thinking begins slowing down. You know, for most, there is a very solid sense of me. In here, there is a very solid sense for most of presence, of love, of this beauty, and at the same time, there is a solid sense of me. But what creates this solid sense of me is the speed at which phenomena spins. There are these five senses, and around these five senses there is this litany of thought, tying all of it in various ways. But as your commitment to slowing down begins to root itself more and more deeply, as there begins to be this alignment with the truth of your own being, the truth of your own heart, which gradually for most begins to release the activities that are based on what has been conditioned. All of the various forms of responsibility, what I need to do, what I need to do to be a good person, what I need to do to support my livelihood, what I need to do not to insult someone else. What I need to do to take care of matters. As the trust begins to deepen, the need to begins to fall away. It's not that it doesn't arise. Initially, it will arise with much greater tenacity. Fear will arise because being a slave to what has been conditioned begins to weaken, and the taskmaster will get louder. And everything that drove the actions of need to will begin to show themselves, and therein lies the need for this courage to remain, to see what it is that has driven all of these behaviors that are plastic and known and flat and dead and have defined someone. And the bargaining tool is the ego's idea of a sense of familiarity, sense of feeling safe. But when something begins to root itself, this trust begins to root itself. The hunger to know what is real begins to overtake the habit of familiarity. honoring the truth of your heart begins to overtake the stories, interpretive opinions of how I need to survive. When this begins, the frequency of activity begins to drastically slow down. The habitual activities that keep the distraction alive begin to fall away. The machinery that has built the whole dreamscape begins to reveal itself. Thoughts begin to slow. There begin to be these gaps where nothing is happening. They get bigger as the rooting oneself continues to deepen. And what is tasted in these gaps, these spaces between the driving mechanism of the machinery, is the taste of no one. Except it is not the mind's idea of no one. It is the mind's idea of the Sadguru, pure beauty that is felt in your heart, pure bliss that you cannot believe, that begins pulling the attention in. And it is more beautiful than anything this mechanistic program has ever known. And then it returns, this programming. But in this space, upon its return, there is the very clear seeing. It is the ordainer that is ordaining its return. The recreation of the feeling of someone is a creation. That it's all myth. And the degree to which there is the alignment with this fear-driven survival mechanistic program is the degree to which it survives. But once there has been a true taste, then you are gone. Then nothing else will do. There is what is called the ordainer, and there is what is called the Sadguru, the master, your own heart, pure eternal presence. And it lives inside. And then there is what is ordained, which is based on past karma. It is all this beautiful orchestration. It is all dependent on your hunger, which is dependent on the depth of your taste, which is dependent on the willingness to stop. There is nothing complex about it. It could not be more simple. Mind will come up with 10 million issues, excuses, complications, but it is all smoke. Mind will never be ready. It does not even know what is being spoken. All it knows is its own story, but there is something inside. There is something in the heart. It is here where God is discovered, inside what was called your heart, within. And it is in the readiness to stop the parade. At all costs, in all situations, at all times. That's the setup.